Have you ever woken up with that little fizz of excitement in your belly? That feeling that today isn't just any other day, long before the sun has even thought about stretching its golden arms over the horizon. It's a special kind of magic that we don't know in, and it's exactly how our story begins. A fine, misty drizzle was whispering against the window pane, each tiny droplet a secret shared with the glass. Outside, a gentle breeze sighed through the leaves of the old oak tree, a soft, soothing sound in the quiet of the morning. It wasn't the heavy, drumming rain she was used to, but a gentler, more thoughtful kind of weather. Lily's eyes fluttered open, slowly adjusting to the soft gray light that filled her room. She turned over in her cozy bed, and that's when she smelled it, the faintest, warmest, nuttiest scent drifting in from the kitchen. A smile spread across her face as she remembered exactly what day it was. She let out a little yawn. It had been a late night, and her body was gently protesting the early start. But the thought of the day ahead was more than enough to coax her from beneath the warm duvet. Today was the big one, the yearly fundraiser for the local animal shelter, and this year Lily had offered up her beloved bakery as the venue. She wouldn't be baking her usual array of crusty breads and delicate pastries. No, today was all about one thing: pancakes. Hundreds upon hundreds of fluffy, golden pancakes. That thought was all the motivation she needed. She sat up, swinging her legs over the side of the bed and wiggling her toes until they found the familiar comfort of her fuzzy slippers. Padding across the floor, she grabbed her soft dressing gown from the hook on the door, wrapping it around herself and tying the belt in a snug knot. Feeling warm and ready, she made her way to the kitchen. Her morning ritual was always the same. First, she filled the kettle, and while the water was heating, she spooned some fragrant, loose-leaf tea into its little metal As the kettle began to hum, she shuffled over to the counter, where that lovely, earthy, nutty smell was so much stronger. It was wafting up from dozens and dozens of tiny hard dog biscuits, all laid out to cool on metal racks. They covered nearly every flat surface in her little cottage: the countertops, the small kitchen table by the window. Even the coffee table and a couple of bookshelves in the living room were commandeered for the cause. She chuckled to herself, seeing the little bone, heart, star, and circle shapes dotted all around her home. She picked up 2 of the biscuits and tapped them together. They made a satisfying, sharp clack. Perfect! The kettle clicked off. She poured the steaming water over her tea, letting it steep while her mind drifted back to yesterday's baking marathon. After closing up the bakery, she'd come home and whipped up 2 massive batches of special dog-friendly dough, one plain, one with a generous helping of peanut butter. She'd rolled it all out and had a wonderful time using her pastry cutters to stamp out all the fun shapes. There was something so deeply satisfying about seeing them all scattered across the kitchen, waiting for their turn in the oven. She'd bake them low and slow for hours, staying up much later than usual to make sure they were cooked all the way through and completely dried out. It was the secret to making them last, ready to be bundled up into little treat bags for today. Once her tea was brewed, she added a splash of milk and carried her favorite mug over to her little nook by the window. She carefully nudged aside a stray dog biscuit to make room for her cup. The sky was still a deep, moody gray, but the rain had eased to a gentle, intermittent patter. Normally, this quiet time was for letting her thoughts drift, for daydreaming, but today she was all business, mentally running through her to-do list. She wanted the day to be perfect, not just for her customers, but especially for the animals. She was determined to give them the very best chance of finding their forever families. She'd always dreamed of having a dog herself, but her long hours at the bakery just wouldn't be fair. Still, she thought to herself, sipping her warm tea, maybe one day, dog treats, baked and ready. Chica! All the pancake ingredients already waiting at the bakery. Chica! The toppings, hopefully, check. She was pretty sure she'd bought everything she needed over the weekend. But if not, well, she'd just have to get creative. Just another day in the life of a baker, she thought with a little smile. After finishing her tea, she rinsed out her mug and left it to dry, then went to get dressed. She picked out a comfy outfit, something that wouldn't be too warm next to a hot stove all day, with sleeves that wouldn't get in the way. Dressed and ready, she returned to the kitchen and pulled 2 large plastic tubs from the larder. They were perfect for transporting her baked goods. One by one, she began to carefully place the little biscuits inside one tub for the plain, one for the peanut butter. Soon, they were filled with a pleasant jumble of brown shapes. She placed the very last one, a little peanut butter star, right on top before snapping the lids shut. A quick peek outside showed that the drizzle had all but stopped. Lucky. She'd still bring her brolly, just in case, but at least she'd have a free hand for each of the biscuit tubs. With a familiar click, she locked her front door behind her and set off towards the bakery, her mind buzzing with a mixture of excitement and a tiny bit of dread about the all-day pancake marathon ahead. It wasn't often that baking intimidated Lily anymore. Sometimes, she'd get a little flutter of nerves over a particularly important wedding cake, but she'd made most of her bakes hundreds, if not thousands, of times. Pancakes, though, she sighed. It had been years since she'd made proper pancakes. She was rarely home for breakfast, usually just nibbling on whatever she was creating at the bakery that morning, a sliver of a cinnamon roll, a spoonful of jam. She even turned leftover bread dough into a tiny roll, just for herself sometimes. Got to do quality control, after all. As she walked past the house with the 2 fluffy cats watching her lazily from the window, she realized she couldn't remember the last time she'd cooked a proper breakfast of any kind. Well, she thought with a wry smile, they don't have to cook for the entire town today, but mostly she just felt happy that they had a warm, safe home. And that, she reminded herself, was the whole point of today. That was why a little bit of nervousness was completely worth it. The sound of her footsteps on the pavement brought her back to the present. And there, it was the colorful front door of her bakery. It never failed to make her smile, even when the morning light was too dim to make the colors truly pop. Balancing the tubs on her hip, she turned the key in the lock. The familiar, peaceful silence of the sleeping bakery greeted her as she stepped inside. But then, a voice called her name. Oh, right! She'd almost forgotten. Her friend Rose had agreed to come in early to help wrap the dog treats in 2 little gift bags. Lily peered into the dim light and saw Rose making her way down the hill, waving as she got closer. Lily waved back, holding the door open. Together, they wiped their feet on the mat. Without a word, Rose took the heavy tubs from Lily, freeing up her hands to perform the morning ritual of waking up the bakery. It really did feel like waking it up, Lily mused. She flicked on the main lights, then bent down to plug in the strings of fairy lights. They twinkled to life, casting a warm, magical glow over the quiet ovens, the empty tables, and the silent espresso machine. Rose, bless her, gave Lily a moment to soak it all in before they got down to business. Lily always appreciated that about her friend. Rose was just as comfortable in the quiet as she was. Once the bakery was bright and humming, Lily turned to Rose. "Thank you so much for coming to help," she said. "I wouldn't miss it for the world," Rose replied, her eyes sparkling. "After all, this was sort of my idea, wasn't it?" She flashed a huge grin, and Lily couldn't help but laugh. "It was true." Rose volunteered at the shelter, and a few months ago, she'd come into the bakery armed with adorable photos of dogs needing homes. She'd put on her most persuasive puppy dog Isa Tacti, reserved for only the most important of missions, and painted a picture of the perfect fundraiser. "You know where would be the absolute perfect place for it?" Rose had asked, glancing meaningfully at the delicious cakes on display. And how could Lily have possibly said no? She was always looking for ways to give back to the community that had embraced her so warmly, and helping people find their perfect four-legged friends. That was a cause she could definitely get behind. Rose set up her station at a table near the door, pulling out stacks of little paper bags, fancy ribbon, and small cards with information about the shelter. Her job was to create the perfect little goodie bags, while Lily tackled the pancake batter. The gentle crinkling of paper and the soft thump of biscuits became a comforting background rhythm as Lily got to work. Right, she thought, as far as recipes go, pancakes are pretty straightforward. She gathered the flour, baking powder, sugar, and salt from the larder, and the butter, eggs, and milk from the fridge. She was using vanilla extract today, instead of her usual pods. Speed and quantity were the name of the game. Her plan was to keep the pancakes fresh all day by mixing up smaller batches. As she went, she measured out the dry ingredients into a series of large bowls. Then she portioned out the wet ingredients, cubes of butter ready for melting, milk, and eggs, and stored them in the fridge, ready to go. Next up, the topping station. They had decided this was the best way to please everyone. A large table would be laden with bowls of fruit compote, whipped cream, fresh berries, and chocolate chips, alongside bottles of chocolate and caramel sauce, maple and agave syrup, and of course, plenty of butter. Everyone could build their own perfect pancake masterpiece. Lily pulled out fresh peaches and strawberries she'd prepped yesterday and set them on the stove in large pots with a bit of sugar to simmer down into glorious, sweet compotes. She arranged the fresh blueberries and raspberries in big decorative bowls on the back table, setting out all the sauces beside them. For the kids and the grown-ups, of course, she poured a couple of bags of chocolate chips into a brightly colored dish while the compotes bubbled away. She filled large carafes with coffee and stacked mugs beside them for people to help themselves. Finally, she poured cartons of double cream into her large stand mixer, added a sprinkle of sugar, and switched it on. In no time, it transformed into clouds of soft, fluffy, whipped cream. For over an hour, the two friends worked in a comfortable, companionable silence, whisking, packing, stirring. Then, a soft noise at the door announced their first customer. It was Seamus, a regular, who was more than happy to swap his usual cinnamon roll for a plate of pancakes for a good cause. Lily poured him his coffee, and he settled in by the window with his newspaper. A few moments later, a happy commotion drifted in from outside bright yips, an excited howl, and the patter of many paws on the pavement. The puppies had arrived. Rose and Lily had known that the key to a successful fundraiser was adorable, fluffy puppies. The shelter had recently taken in a whole litter of young Labradors, and they were now tumbling around in a little playpen in the garden outside the bakery. Customers could grab some breakfast, then spend some time playing with the pups. There were other adoptable dogs there too, but as Lily always thought, every dog is a puppy at heart. She washed her hands and stepped outside. Volunteers were setting up the pen and spreading large picnic blankets on the grass. "Lucky we've got sun in the forecast," one of them called out to Lily. She was right. It was perfect weather near the back of the garden, away from all the boisterous young pups. Lily spotted an older dog. It was a large, handsome mutt with kind. Dark eyes and black and brown fur, with a gentle dusting of white around its muzzle, like powdered sugar. The dog sat quietly, and Lily felt herself drawn to it. As she walked over, she saw the tip of its tail give a slow, tentative wag. The closer she got, the faster it thumped against the grass. She held out the back of her hand, and the dog gently pressed its wet nose against her skin. That was all the invitation she needed. She began to gently scratch the top of its head and behind its ears. "Who's this?" she asked the volunteer. "That's Siggy," the woman replied with a warm smile. "She's a very special girl, been with us a long time. People usually want the puppies, you know, but older dogs, they're just perfect for the right person," she added, giving Lily a very meaningful look. "Hello, Siggy," Lily whispered. "You're a very good girl, aren't you?" Siggy just thumped her tail in response. Just then, Lily saw more visitors arriving. Well, Siggy," she said softly, "I have to go and make pancakes now, but I hope you find your person today." The dog nosed her hand one last time before settling back down on the grass. Lily headed back inside, glancing over her shoulder one last time at the quiet dog, resting peacefully in the morning sun. The bakery was now buzzing with happy chatter. Lily washed her hands again. "Showtime," she thought. She grabbed the first bowl of dry ingredients, mixed in the wet, and ladled perfect, creamy circles of batter onto the hot griddle. Soon, the most wonderful, comforting smell of cooking pancakes filled the entire bakery. When the tops were covered in little bubbles, she flipped them over to reveal a perfectly golden brown underside. A friend of Rose's, a cheerful man named James, volunteered to be the official pancake plater, handing the hot stacks over to the eager customers. They hadn't set a price. Instead, a sign and a collection jar near the door asked people to simply pay what they could. Every little bit would help. The day became a blur of mixing, ladling, and flipping. James was a natural, getting into a rhythm of plating and directing people to the toppings. So many familiar faces stopped by, each creating their own unique pancake concoction. Even Seamus got in on the fun, adding a pinch of cinnamon that Lily passed him from behind the counter. Late in the day, the door connecting to the bookshop next door creaked open, and Simon waved. "Sorry, no hot chocolate today?" Lily called out. "It's all right," he said. "I've just come for a pancake." Lily plated one up for him herself. "Haven't had pancakes in years," he said, inhaling the warm steam. "Me neither," Lily laughed. She watched as he went to the topping station and, to her delight, topped his with whipped cream and used chocolate chips to make a smiley face. He turned and held up his plate, grinning. The hours flew by, one by one. The puppies outside found their new homes. Lily would pause every so often to watch them go. A family walking away with a pit bull in a little tutu, a couple of kids cuddling a labradoodle in the back of their car. By the end of the day, every single dog had been adopted. All of them, except one. Siggy was still there, lying quietly on the grass. Lily's heart ached. If only her life were different. She'd take her in a heartbeat. After the last customer left, Rose packed up her things. They'd done it. 10 dogs and promises for at least 6 cats had found homes, and they'd raised enough money to completely refurbish the cat room at the shelter. After saying her goodbyes, Lily was finally alone in the quiet bakery. She cleaned everything up, wiping down the tables and putting the chairs back in their places. And then, at long last, she sat down with her very own plate of pancakes. She added a knob of butter and a generous drizzle of maple syrup. But just as she lifted the first perfect bite to her mouth, she glanced out of the window, and there, walking happily across the street towards the bookshop, was Simon. And trotting right beside him, tail held high, was a very happy Siggy. And with that warm, wonderful thought, our story for tonight comes to a close. If this little trip to the bakery made you feel cozy and brought a smile to your face, why not let us know by giving this video a like? And if you fancy more gentle tailies like this one, be sure to subscribe. We'd love to have you back for our next story. Take care and sleep well. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your night. May you find deep peace and restful sleep. Wishing you the sweetest dreams. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.